Great. Guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, that's right, fine. So, yesterday night we just did patching, right? So, now we are going to remove the patching. So, when you remove the patching, also one more summary.txt file will be there. So, this txt file will be gone, and you can see the latest summary.txt file, guys, okay, in this location. So, now if you see the date and timestamp folders, these are actually date and timestamp folders, okay? So yesterday we did that activity, right? So 26/8/2023, yesterday date is like 26/8/2023. So if you open this 26/8/2023, here also you can see the same summary.txt file, this one, okay, with the instance name and all. And here also you can see another file called detailed file. Again, I am saying during installations of SQL Server, during patchings of SQL Server, if you face any errors, generally the first source is summary.txt file. If you don't find enough information in the summary.txt file, then you can also check in the detail.txt file. See here, this is yesterday's, okay, activity. 26/8/2023, 29/20, 21, 29/42. We just completed patching at 9:29. Okay, sorry, it just started at 9:29 and it just completed at 9:43. Okay, we just started at 9:29 and it was completed at 9:43. And what is the action, guys? Patching we did. What is the action? That is the patching. Okay, so this is how generally we can check it. So the first source is your summary.txt file. They will ask you in the interview in case of patchings, in case if the patching is failed, where you are going to check it. So in case if the patching is failed, the first source is summary.txt. Then he'll ask you where you can find the summary.txt file. They will ask you the path and all. So you should be very clear with the path. See, program files, Microsoft SQL Server, binaries, the highest version binary is 150. If you patch SQL Server 2022, 160. If you patch SQL Server 2019, 150. If you patch SQL Server 2017, 140. If you patch SQL Server 2016, 130. Like that folders will be there. So go inside that particular folder as per your instance, and then there you can see log folder. There you can see setup bootstrap folder. If you go inside setup bootstrap folder, you can see log folder. If you go inside the log folder, you can see date and timestamp folders. If you go inside the date and timestamp folders with the latest date, there you can see the last activity summary file and detail file. So you have to explain clearly like this. So this will help you in case of any issues, any errors are there. This will help you. In case if you don't find enough information in this file, the next file that we are going to use is detailed.txt. See here, for installations also this file will be generated. Okay, for patchings also this file will be generated. Summary.txt file, detail.txt file. So these are the two main files, guys. Okay, you can see a very big file will be there. So how to search it generally? You can just go for Control F. You can just type failed error like this. You can just type. Okay, so why? Because we cannot read the whole document, right? It's very difficult. Okay, you can just type failed, you can just type error, you can just type exception. Okay, exception like this. If you type, you will get some messages and all. So based on that, you are going to patch the particular SQL server and all, guys. I mean to say, you can see, you can see what and all errors are there. So based on that, you are able to troubleshoot that particular issue, guys. So apart from this, if you don't find information, enough information in this particular detail.txt file also, apart from these two files, we have one more option called event viewer. So in the event viewer application logs, okay, event viewer application logs also, we can see, okay, the patching in case if the patching is failed or in case if the installation is failed. So OS related, these are OS related logs, guys. These are OS related logs. So you can just open event viewer. In the event viewer, you can choose application logs. Under event viewer, we have Windows logs. Under Windows logs, we have application. So SQL Server is an application, right? So SQL Server, okay. you can see all the, not only SQL Server, all the application related information we can see here, errors, critical information, everything you can see here. You can simply filter it. Okay, you can simply filter current log, and you can choose critical error information, whatever you want. And here in the source, from which source you want. You want from Microsoft SQL Server, right? So go down and search for MS SQL. Okay, check for MS SQL. So if you see here, MS ODBC, MS SQL Server. So if you just select this source and whatever errors information is there, okay, you can see right now error. Okay, so SQL Server is not ready to accept new connection. Wait for few minutes before trying again if you have access. I'm not saying these are all patching related errors. I'm saying in this way you can see the errors. So Shanmukh, all these are patching related errors. And yesterday, if you see, three errors came: 941, okay, 941, and actually four errors came. SQL Server is not ready to accept new client connections at 8:53. Then again, 941, 941, 942. Okay, we got these errors. Can you guess it? Why we got these errors yesterday?
Then I think while patching,
Yes,
the SQL Server restart many times. That's why.
correct. While patching, the SQL Server is restarted many times. So that's why, okay, it was restarted. And before patching also, we restarted the SQL Server. That's why this is the error at 8:53. Okay, so this is how generally you can check the, and don't think like if error is there means it was already blocking. It was the previous error. It is the history. This is the history you can see. Okay, so that's what. So you have three sources. First source is your summary.txt file. Second source is your detail.txt file. Third source is your event viewer application logs. Okay, and during the patching you might get any pop-ups and all. Okay, so in the pop-up you can see the errors. So generally, in case if the patch is failed, okay, during the patching itself you can see some pop-ups, right, why it was failed and all. So like that you are going to check it, and you can just google it, the errors and all. Okay, so and based on the error you can just troubleshoot, guys. Right, these are the main locations or places you can see the patching related errors. So what kind of common issues we will face? What kind of common issues we will face while patching the SQL Server? What kind of common errors we might expose, okay, while patching the SQL Server? Any idea? Common errors. So whatever pre-checks that we have completed yesterday, if you follow all the pre-checks, mostly you don't get the errors, guys. Okay. Whatever pre-checks that we have already followed yesterday, pre-checks and post-checks. And one more thing, guys, after the successful patching, yesterday we just connected to the SQL server and we just checked whether everything is looking good or not. Okay, we just checked whether bill number is changed or not. So this is the only thing that we did yesterday. But generally in the organization, what we have to do, guys, we have to do all post patching steps. Like whatever precautions are there, pre-patching steps are there. Same thing. Earlier, I mean before patching, we just checked, right, how many SQL services are up and running. So after patching also you have to check how many SQL services are up and running. That's why I asked you to take the screenshot. By mistake, if some, see, now the startup type is automatic only. Now the SQL Server startup type is automatic only. Automatic means what? Automatic means what, guys? What is meant by automatic? Startup type automatic means what? Can anyone tell me?
When
Then it will
window
automatic restart.
Correct.
when
Sorry, what is that? Automatical restart.
when window login, then it's automatic start.
Correct, correct. Okay, you cannot just give a simple small answer. Automatical restart means whenever it wants, it is going to restart automatically. No, right? So when you restart the Windows machine, the applications that are there in that Windows machine also automatically restarted. Okay, not every time. When you restart the Windows machine, the application, see here you can see lot of applications, automatic, like this. All the automatic applications will automatically start with the operating system. That is called automatic. Startup type, that is called automatic. So even though it is automatic, see, when we just turned on the when we just what I can say, when we just started the server, still SQL server is in stopped state. Manually I came and I just started. I got the error right when I started this server in the morning. I'm unable to connect. So I just checked why we are unable to connect. In the services, it is showing services are down. Even though startup type is automatic, still there is a chance that sometimes the services will be down. So before patching, you checked all these things, right? After patching, check how many SQL services are up and running. And before patching, after patching, check the services are matching or not. Like whatever services are up and running, whether those services are up and running or not after patching also. Okay, so this is the main thing that you have to check, guys. After patching, the post-patching steps will be check how many SQL instances. Like first step is like you have to check how many instances are there, how many up and running and all, right? So in the same way, post-patching also, you have to check how many instances are up and running, how many services are up and running. And remaining things and all, select at the rate version, select at the rate server name. You don't need to check. Why? Because those are the pre-checks. And free space in the C drive also we discussed. That also very important check. So two things that you have to check post installation. Two things that you have to check is whether all the services are started or not. Before patching, what is the services state? After patching, same state is updated or not. That you have to check one thing. Second thing, go to Management Studio. Before patching, what is the database states? After patching, the same database states are there or not. Sometimes they might be in offline state. Before patching, it will be online. After patching, it will be offline. So there is such scenario. Rarely you will get it. Not regularly. Very rarely you will get it. There is such kind of scenario, so that you have to check whether the database states are same or not before patching. Whatever database states are there, read only, standby, restoring state, offline state. Sometimes out of 100 databases, we'll have different states of databases. One, two databases will be in standby, one, two databases will be in read only, one, two databases will be in offline, one, two databases in single user mode. Okay, after patching also same state should be there. So that's why I asked you to take the screenshot. So if you don't take the screenshot before patching, after patching, if two databases are offline, you might think because of patching these two databases are offline. Okay, so someone might be wantedly kept the databases offline, right? So these are the challenges. So after patching, mainly like you have to check these things, these two things. And in case if you disabled any jobs before patching, make sure you enable the jobs after patching also. Yesterday we discussed one more point, like if any critical jobs are there, if they're running continuously, you have to stop the jobs and you have to disable the jobs for a while. So after patching, whatever jobs you stopped, whatever jobs you disabled, make sure you enable the jobs automatically. The jobs will be up and running, guys. So these are the three things that you have to check after patching. Right. So what kind of general issues we face? Generally, apart from these things, whatever we faced yesterday, we will get one common issue like missing MSI and MSP files. Okay, we'll get some common issues like missing MSI and MSP files. So what is MSI file, guys? What is MSI file? What is MSI file? What is the full form of MSI file? Zero 4516617. Can you hear me?
Microsoft installer.
Right. Yeah, Microsoft installer files. Microsoft installer files, guys. Okay, just 1 minute. Let me do one thing. Right. Okay, fine. So MSI files, missing MSI and MSP files, guys. Missing MSI and MSP files. So what is missing MSI and MSP files, guys? Missing MSI and MSP files. Microsoft installer files. MSI means Microsoft installer files. Installer files. Okay. MSP means Microsoft patch files. Okay. MSP means Microsoft patch files. MSI means Microsoft installer files, and MSP means Microsoft patch files. So when you are patching the SQL servers, okay, so whatever changes that they are doing, okay, so those changes they are going to upload as a files, guys. Okay, those changes they are going to upload as a files. So what it will do, it is going to replace when you install SQL servers. When you install SQL server, so you will get some files, guys. You will get some files when you install SQL server. You will get some files. Okay. So those files formats will be like this .msi, .msp. These kind of files and all you will get it. Okay. When you install SQL server, first time when you install, I installed SQL Server 2019, right? So some of the supported files extensions will be .msi file, .msp file. Okay, listen carefully. So imagine some SQL core engine. This is one file, SQL underscore core underscore, okay, engine. This is one file, imagine, okay. SQL core engine.msa file is one file, okay. In the same way, SQL something like this, okay, something like this. I'm not saying the same file. SQL underscore config, one more file, okay. Imagine these two files are there. So while installing, imagine I'm just giving an example of this file. So while installing, you will get these two files, guys. Okay, while installing, you will get these two files. So when you are patching with the latest service pack, when you are patching with the latest service pack or cumulative update or latest update, whatever it is there, in that also you will have these two files. Updated files will be there. In that also you will have these two files. Updated files will be there. Hello, 045617. Who is it?
Sub Digvesh here. I think it's my like laptop. I think
So Digvesh, I
actually,
asked you to, like, I asked multiple times. Have you checking the charts?
yeah, you are right exactly, sir. Actually, I just joined with my office laptop, so I was not aware that it was me kindly. So that's I just rejoined again. Then I thought it was me.
Okay. Yesterday also you joined with the office laptop only,
No,
right?
yeah. I think yes.
Keep checking the messages. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Chalo. So SQL core engine.msa files, when you install SQL Server, you will get these kind of files. And again, when you are patching the SQL Server with the latest update, again, these two files might be updated. Okay, these two files might be replaced or updated. So if these two files are present, it will update with these two files. If these two files are deleted, okay, or no one will delete manually, wantedly no one will delete. Everyone knows the importance of the files. During some Windows patching activities, during some maintenance tasks, during the cleanup tasks from the Windows side, unexpectedly some of the files will be deleted. So when you are doing patching, it has to replace these two files with the old files. It has to replace with these two files. So imagine these two files are present, it will replace with the latest files. Okay, if these two files are missing or deleted, then these two files cannot update the above two files. That is called missing MSI and MSP files. Is it clear, guys?
Then how it will be deleted?
That's what I said. Maybe no one will delete wantedly. Maybe during Windows team will do cleanup activities, like this cleanup activities and all they will do. There is a chance that the files will be deleted. or they will do some Windows patching activity. So during that time, there is a chance that the files can be deleted. Okay, so this is the scenario, guys. This is how generally you will get missing MS and MSP files. So is it clear, everyone? Why we will get MS and MSP files? No problem, Digvish. It's okay. No issues. Clear, guys? Guys, is this clear? Please respond. Why we will get missing
Yes,
MS
yes,
and
yes.
MSP files? Okay, so in case if the old files are not there, the patching will try to update the old files with these new files. So if the old files are not present, generally you'll get missing MS and MSP files. So how would you know how to know like what and all missing MS and MSP files are there? How to check it? So generally, if you go to the Google, I'll show you one example of missing MS and MSP files. Okay, missing MS and MSP files SQL Server. Just go to images. If you see here, okay, if you see here, see, check here. The cached MSI file C Windows installer 4313fcf.msi is missing. Its original file is SQL_rs.msi and it was installed for product SQL Server 2008 R2 SP1 reporting services. And you can find the file here in this location. So in the error, it will tell you what is the actual file name, what is the original file name. Okay, so generally where we can see MSA, MSP files, guys. Okay, you can see in the interviews also they will ask, sometimes they will ask you this question, guys. You can see C Windows. Generally, if you open C Windows, you cannot see that folder. Okay, there is a folder called installer folder. Can you see installer folder here? Can you see installer folder in the I? No, right? So that will be a hidden folder. You cannot see directly. How to open? Just see Windows installer. If you type installer, you can open, guys. Okay. So if you see here, some of the files, don't think all are related to the SQL Server, guys. In the Windows operating systems, all files generally will be installed as a MS and MSP files. Don't think MS and MSP files only for SQL Server. Okay, all files will be installed like this: installer files, patch files. If you see the extension of any file, you can see .msi or .msp. See here the extension .msp. So like this, if you see this is patch file, if you, this is the installer file, right? If you go and check it, you can see .msa file, Microsoft installer file, or Windows installer file. So there are some chances if any of the files are deleted, if patching has to replace the same deleted files, if it not found that deleted files, of course, if the files are deleted, you cannot find the files, right? Then you'll get a missing MS and MSP files errors. So how to troubleshoot, guys? So we have different methods to troubleshoot. Earlier, we can troubleshoot using, okay, 1 minute. Earlier, we can troubleshoot using VB script. Sometimes in the interviews, they will ask you earlier how we use it to troubleshoot and all. VB script. So VB script, Visual Basic Studio script. So using this VB script, we use it to scan it and we can find out what and all missing MSA and MSP files are there. A very big script is there. Okay. And let me show you that script as well. Missing MSI and MSP files VB script. So using that script earlier means five years back like that. Okay. So we use it to use that VB script. Okay, to pull the information of that one. So now they are not using. Now no one is using VB script. Okay. So now what Microsoft did is it just introduced one tool called Fix MSI and MSP, guys. What is the tool name? Tool name itself Fix MSI and MSP. Fix MS and MSP files. Generally, where, see, if you see the error here, it is saying This file you can find it in so and so software. If you see here, what it is saying, guys, this file you can find in so and so software, like that it is saying, right? So this file generally, if you see here, it is there in the SQL Server 2008 R2 SP1, like this you can see. So the missing files generally you can find in the particular media, the software. Media means the software. In the entry they will ask where you can find the missing files and all. In the error itself, it will clearly tell you if this is present in the SQL Server RTM media, you can find that in the RTM media, like that it will tell you. Or else if you can able to find out using any other updates, you can check it in that particular updates also. So generally you can find these files in the RTM media. Okay, the installer media will be there, right? The first software will be there, right? SQL Server 2019 software will be there, right? There you can find it. So generally, how we will troubleshoot? If one or two files are there, how we will troubleshoot, guys? I'll tell you. If one or two files are there, for example, this file is missing. We got an error. This file is missing, and it would all. I'll try to show you guys. While removing the patch, there is a chance that we might get that error. There is a chance. So in case if we got that error, I'll show you live. Okay, right. So here, in case if this file is missing, SQL core engine.msa file is missing, it will tell you, right? So where the what is the original file name of this file and all. Imagine the original file name is 0 something like this. Let me go and check one file name. Imagine this is the original file name, 86A7DB. Okay, so .msi. So what we will do, we will go to the one of the 2019 server. We will go to one of the 2019 server. Okay. And what we will do, we'll go to that particular location. We'll copy this file from that server and we are going to paste it in the new server where we are getting the errors. Same 2019, guys. If it is 2000, you have to go to 2019 only. If it is 2017 server, go to any 2017 server. Go to any 2017 server in your organization. Check the file name. Copy paste that file name into the respective server where we are getting the missing MS and MSP files errors. So when you copy paste it, automatically your patching will again resume and the issue will be solved. If it is one or two files, we'll do like this. We can do like this also. But if it is more files and all, okay, if it is more files and all, see here, Microsoft introduced the tool called missing MS and MSP file. Okay, so this is the tool, guys. Okay, so if you see here, generally fix missing MS MSP tool, right? That is the tool name. Okay, fix missing MS and MSP tool. So if you see here, like this, you have to copy the tool to the respective server. In this server, missing MS and MSP files we are getting. Imagine in this server, we are getting missing MS and MSP files. So what we have to do, guys, just copy the tool, download the tool, all automatically the tool will be there in your shared folder. Copy the tool, go to the particular server, paste it and open the tool. You can see there is a scan option. Okay, here if you click on the file, there is a scan option. If you scan it, you can see any missing files are there or not. See here, you can see here two files. Okay, one is mismatched, one is missing. Yellow color mismatched file, another one is missing. The file name is SQL Engine Core. SQL Engine Core. Like this you can see. So you can see these are the original file names 5075512.msp 55b04bc.msp. These are the two files that are missing. So I can just click on fix it button. If I click on fix it button, it is going to fix it, guys. If multiple files are there, in the fix option, the fix tab, there is an option called fix all. Okay, if you click on fix all, then you can just get it. Okay, so you can just you are able to fix it using that fix all option, guys. So generally this is how we are going to fix the missing MS and MSP files. So this is the old method, find SQL installs.vb script. Okay, I guess they just presented the script in the GitHub repository. So let me check whether the script is there or not. Okay, so if you see here, this is Microsoft repository, guys. You can see some files. Just a minute, let me show you this. Yeah, if you see here, the tool, okay, you have to give the path of the media software, and then you have to scan it, and then you can, what you can do, let me post this in the chart so that it will be very useful, guys. Let me post this in the chart. Save this one. Like all Microsoft, okay, important scripts and all there in this repository. This is GitHub repository, guys. And I guess it was posted to the group, right? Not to a single person. Can you see that message, guys, in the group chat? Right. Okay. So if you see here, if you click on fix tab, you can see fix all. Okay. So if you click on fix all, automatically it will fix whatever missing files are there. So in this way, you are able to fix missing MSA and MSP files, guys. So I'll try to show you guys. Well, removing the patch also, you will get missing MSA and MSP files. So I'll show you guys. Okay. So in case if you got, we are lucky, I'll show you. Okay. Let me go and check what and all other things are there here. Yeah, this is the install. This is the VB script. Find SQL install.vbs. This is the VB script, guys. See, this is the VB script. Earlier, we used to use this much big VB script to scan the missing files 5 years back and all. Now we are not going to use this one. Okay, so we are using the tool, guys. Okay, so this is how, just a copy paste, save this path also. It will be helpful, guys. SQL setup tools and all. So let me just post you that one. Where is the message? Team chart. Yeah. Okay, so just save this path as well, guys. Okay, it will be very useful. Right. Okay, so now let's discuss how to remove the patch. In what scenarios we will remove the patch. So once patching is completed, we will
Hello.
ask, yes, please.
So I have one doubt.
Yes, yes.
Suppose I am getting the issue MSI and MSP file error. Okay. After fix it, I have to again patch the S2 server or continue the process.
See, it will be paused. Okay, I'll show you. I'll try to show you in case if it is going to allow me in this session. It will be paused. Your patching will be paused and you will get a pop-up. Okay, so and so
Okay.
file is missing. If you browse it, if you gave that file, automatically your patching will be resumed.
Okay.
Okay, so again, no need to cancel the process. Whatever process is going on. So like yesterday, we have seen, right, when we started the process, we can see that it is like copying some files and all. So it will struck at the last point. Okay, so and so file is missing. So in that case, the patching will be paused. So if you are able to replace the file and if you rerun it, automatically the patching will be resumed. No need to cancel, no need to open the setup file again. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So let's discuss how to remove the patch and in what scenarios we'll remove the patch, guys. Generally, after patching, we have to check with the application team whether application is able to connect to the SQL server or not. So during the patching, generally application team also will be there. Sometimes what application team will do, they will stop the application from their side. Okay, sometimes again, people will follow this practice, people will follow, some people will follow it, some people they don't follow. So this is how it will be. Some people, as a precautionary method, before patching, they will stop the application. After patching, we have to inform to them so that they are going to start the application again, so that they make sure there is no data loss and all. Okay, so now here, once patching is successfully completed, we have to update to the application team. Okay, and before patching also, guys, you have to send an email to the whole team. Okay, this is also very important. So before, imagine your patching window is scheduled today Sunday, right? Today at 10 p.m., 10 a.m. your patching window is scheduled, guys. 10 a.m. your patching is scheduled. So before 10 a.m., what you have to do, make sure you copy all the files yesterday itself, Friday itself. Okay, and before 10 a.m., make sure you complete all the health checks, and before 10 a.m., like 9:55, like that, you have to send an email to all the SQL DBA's team plus application team, like whoever, like managers and all their managers, product owner. So like this, you have to send an email, guys. What you have to send an email? Hi team, as discussed, we are going to start the patching on so and so server at 10 a.m. IST. Okay. So during patching, we'll restart the server before and after the patching. Okay. So the SQL services will be down for a while. Please ignore any alerts. You have to send an email like this. Why? Because imagine in your team, 3 people are there. You are working from Bangalore location. One DBA is working from Bangalore location. One DBA is working from Hyderabad location. One DBA is working from US location. From New York he is working. All 3 people are in the shift. You didn't informed. You have change request. Everything is approved. You just patched the SQL server. You just started patching SQL server. So when you started patching SQL server or before patching, you will restart the server, right? So DBA, the whole DBA team will get an alert. So and so server is down. We'll set up the alerts, right? So and so server is down. 192.160.37.139 server is down. Like that, DBA team will get an alert. So the people that are there in the Hyderabad location and the US location, they don't know that you are patching the SQL server, right? They will try to troubleshoot why this was down. They are not aware of it that you are patching. They'll try to troubleshoot. And if the SQL server is stopped, they'll try to start the SQL server. So which will corrupt the instance, guys. So always it's good to send an email to the whole team and whoever application team is there, managers, whoever there, and alert monitoring. We'll add alert monitoring also. In this, we have a separate team called alert monitoring, like service desk kind of people. They are going to be monitor each and every alert. They are going to send the tickets to the respective teams. In the organization, there is a team called alert monitoring or service desk. What these people will do in their shift, if any alerts are coming, they will check each and every alert. Okay, this is database related errors. Chalo, send it to DBQ. Send it to the DB team, database team. This is Windows related alert. Okay, send it to Windows team. Like that, they are going to route the alerts, guys. So if you don't include alert monitoring team here, so they might think wantedly it was down, or because of some issues it was down. They will escalate the issue. It will create a problem. So if you send an email to everyone before patching, hello guys, I'm patching the SQL server, or I'm initiating patching on so and so server. So SQL server will be rebooted multiple times during patching. So please expect a downtime and please ignore this. Okay, in case of any alert, still 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. IST. So they don't touch, guys. They don't touch it. These 3 hours, in case if something goes wrong with the server, they don't touch it. Your alert monitoring team, they don't escalate the issue. Your DBA team, they don't touch the server, as they are aware of it that you are patching the SQL server. Okay, guys, clear why we have to send an email?
So one question, sir.
Yes.
So if we have any production servers, so like a lot of servers there, so
Okay.
it will be informed by our like any person, our manager or anyone, that we just need to update this instance of this server patchings on these things.
Correct.
Or we just,
You have to update.
they will inform probably, right?
Yes, yes.
Through mail and all these things,
Correct,
right?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So before patching, you have to send an email. Then you can initiate the patching. Once patching is completed, again you have to send an email. Okay. Hi team, the patching is successfully completed. Application team, especially @ application team, the patching is successfully completed. Please check any connectivity issues between application and database and let us know in case of any issues. So that then application team, they'll start their testing. Okay, they will do what like they'll start all the connections and all, and finally if everything looks good, then application team will respond. Everything is looking good from application side. So this is the formal way of patching, guys. Not only patching, any activity. Okay, this is the formal way. Initially in the organization, you have to practice this formal way. Like you got a change window, change is approved, chalo, I'll patch. Okay, no one is able to ask me, like no one can question me. I have a change request and all. Not like that. That is our main responsibility. You have to let others know. Otherwise, instead of half an hour work, it will be 10 hours work. In case if the instance is corrupted, again, again, if something goes wrong, it will create the problems, right? So before itself, okay, if you are following all these practices so that people will know that you are working, that is one more thing. And again, this is very important also, so that others don't touch the SQL servers or Windows servers till the patching is going to be completed, guys. Okay, fine. So after patching, you have to ask the application team to check the connectivity and all. If they are able to connect, if there are no issues, that will be good, guys. But after patching, there are some scenarios they may not able to connect to the database server. After patching, very rarely, not regularly, very rarely, very rarely. Okay. So after patching, they might face some challenges in connecting to the database server. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you. For example, they are using one application. Tell me one application name, guys. Okay. So HDFC underscore loan processing. Imagine they are using one application. Okay. Imagine that application name is Buddy. Okay. Something like that. Loan processing application. So this is an app. So this app is able to, this is also software, right? Buddy is an application. This is also a software, right? So software means it will have its own limitations. So Buddy can connect to SQL Server 2019 RTM only. Buddy can connect up to SQL Server. Imagine the compatibility. This is called compatibility, guys. This is called compatibility. Buddy application can connect to SQL Server 2019 RTM, which is 15.0.2000.5. That is the build number, right? It can support up to this application, up to this build number. The Buddy application can support up to this build number, guys. Okay. So now what you did is you just patched the SQL Server. So once you patched the SQL Server, what happened, guys? Here the build number will be changed. SQL Server 2019 only will be there, but the build number will be changed to SQL Server 2019 RTM CU 22, which is like 4365, 4322.2. Okay, so 4322.2 here it will be. So the application can be connected up to this level, but you just upgraded your SQL Server to the next level. So there is a chance that your application may not be compatible with the latest updates. There is a chance. So this who has to check? This Buddy application team has to check before patching the SQL Server. Shanmukh. So after patching, they are going to check it. No, what is the use? Before patching only, they have to check what and all updates you're applying. That update is compatible with this application or not. They have to internally check that one. There are some old applications. They don't support after the patching. What is the problem? Their application is not compatible with the latest SQL Server Service Pack or latest updates. In this case, what we have to do, guys? What we have to do in this case? Guys, is this clear?
So we have to remove the patch.
Directly remove the patch.
Just
Your answer
inform
is
them,
correct.
then
I'm not asking. Okay, you'll inform them and you'll remove it. But is that is the only way we have? That is the only way, or we have any other way? So this is also
In between
application.
patching process.
Yeah.
sir, can patching be downloaded?
Can we remove the patch?
Hello.
Yeah, Bibhuti, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Can we remove the
I
patch?
want to. Yes,
If we remove the patch, we can downgrade, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So immediately we don't remove the patch. This is also an application, right?
Sir, this activity will check by the application team.
Correct. This activity has to be checked by the application team.
Okay. After patching or before patching, they have to check.
Sir, before patching, sir. Before patching, they have to check. I told you just now only before patching they have to check.
Is there any documentation or they will have any other?
Do you have application team?
Yes, yes.
Generally, okay, everything will be performed using documentation only in the organization. Okay, they will have their own documentation. This application will have the documentation. Every application will have documentation generally. Right. Okay. So, and someone asked, can we inform the application team? Generally, after patching, okay, if we are getting any compatibility issues and all, I mean, like from our side, it will be good. From our side, we don't see any issues and all. But from the application side, they are unable to connect to the new application. So we might get some logon failure errors and all, something like that. We'll get it in our error log. So if you got such kind of issues, and if it is a compatibility related issue, then we have to ask application team, hey, is there any chance to update your application? Is there any chance to update your application? So if there is a chance,
Sir,
we'll ask them to
Shiva,
update the application.
what is the point of updating the application to connect to this cumulative update?
What is meant by update? Tell me what is the meaning of update? What is update first of all?
Update means changing from old to new.
New, right? So new, there is a chance that the compatibility will increase, right?
But we are not sure that if the application is updated, that then the compatibility issue will not arise.
There is a chance, Praveen. How can you are saying we are not sure? There is a chance if you update this application. Imagine this is Oracle VirtualBox 6.0. Now, if you update to Oracle VirtualBox 7.0, 7.0 can update to the latest versions, right? How can you are saying that it is not going to be?
But even 7.0 is also having some problems. No?
Forget about Oracle VirtualBox 7.0, sir. Application I'm saying, I just gave you an example.
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
saying we are not, it's not, that's what, this is how it is deviating. I just gave you an example of Oracle VirtualBox. Again, you are saying on the Oracle VirtualBox 7.0, we have an issue. That is not the issue here. Okay, the issue is in case if the application is updated, okay, so the latest version, the latest updates, it can be, it can support, there is a chance that the compatibility can increase. Okay, it can support, there is a chance. Instead of removing this, we'll give one chance to application team. Hey, application team, I agree with that. Please check in case if any updates are available from the application side. If application side any updates are available, if they are able to update the application, then it might support. I am not saying that is the only solution. That is one of the solution, Praveen.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so if you ask how come it will support, not you, I'm saying if anyone asks how come it will support, how without trying, how we can say like it is not going to support, right? There is a chance we can try it. If it is still not supporting, then you have to remove the patch. So directly instead of
You mean to say that is one of the steps, right?
correct, correct. That is one of the step. We will ask whether is there any update from the application team. If there is an update, they'll try to update and they'll check whether okay it is compatible with the latest SQL Server or not. If there is no update, they will update us. Hey, DBA team, we don't have any updates from the application side. Okay, so please remove the patch. In that scenario, we'll remove the patch. First scenario is in case
Can
of
you explain again? I'm not getting this point.
very simple, very simple. Okay. In case if any updates are there from the application side, we'll ask them to update their application. That is the only thing that we'll do generally in case of compatibility issues. In case there is any updates from the application side, we'll ask application team to update their application. If they said we don't have any updates, okay, then chalo, we can remove the patch. Okay, so that it will be back to the old 15.0.2005. Okay, so in that case, your application again will connect to the old SQL Server. This is one scenario that we are going to remove the patch. And again,
Sir, in this scenario, there is chance of security concern if the server is not patched.
So that application team has to worry, not you and me. If application, tell me one thing, if security concerns we can bear, or if the whole application is down, you can bear. Tell me which one you are going to choose,
The application, because
right?
it is
What
directly
is the
proportional to
yeah, that is the priority, right? Application has to be up and running, right? If security concern is there, they can fix it in another way. But if the application itself is down, right? So like this we have to think. Okay, so that's what, guys. So here the first thing that what we are going to do is we'll ask the application team, okay, to apply their to update their application. In case if there are no updates, then we can remove the patch. This is one case. Second case, yesterday we discussed it, right? So in case if patching is partially successful, okay, in that case also we'll remove the patch. Two cases, in two scenarios we are going to remove the patch. One scenario is in case if application compatibility issues are there, we'll remove the patch. And in case if the SQL server is patched partially, then also we'll remove the patch. In these scenarios we can remove the patch. Okay, so how to remove the patch? How to remove the patch, guys? Right. So what we can do, go to the server. Okay. So now you can see 4322.2, guys, right? So new query, and what we can do, just check the select at version. So you can see RTM 22 select at version. Okay. So you can see, guys, RTM 22, you can see the latest update and also CU22, right? So to remove the patch, open Windows R. What is the shortcut for the add or remove programs, guys? What is the shortcut for the add or remove programs? I guess we have already discussed it, right? No? appwiz.cpl. Okay, appwiz.cpl. So just open the add or remove programs. Yesterday we discussed it, Praveen. Just go through the yesterday's recording. You are there till last at the end of the sessions, right? Yesterday.
Yeah, Sharma.
You just go through the recordings. Okay, I'll share it. And guys, one more thing I just want to update you. No need to wait till my recordings as of now. Of course, I'm going to create you a Google Drive. Okay. Initially, I told you, right, 10 to 12 sessions I'll upload. Okay. So in the, okay, where is that? 1 minute. Okay. So in our channel, Source University, go to the batch 50 playlist. Ours is batch 51, right? Go to the batch 50 playlist. In case if you are like, if you want to immediately listen the videos and all, if you want to immediately practice and all, don't wait for the videos. I'll share it plus or minus 1 2 days. Why? Because it has to download, it has to upload again in the Google Drive. For that, it will take time, guys, to process and all. So go to batch 50 playlist and then just check the here. Check the same topic, guys. Here you can see the topic wise video. So just check the same topic here. Okay. So for the, you don't see, of course, you don't see all the videos here. Again, I'm saying you don't see all the videos here. Just check the old, what I can say, in the old batch, check the particular topic, you can find out the video. Okay. So without wasting the time for waiting the videos and all, I'll share the videos once the processing is done. Once I uploaded, sometimes it will be scheduled and all. I cannot upload all the videos at a time. So don't worry, guys. In a week, I guess mostly in the next week, I'm going to create a Google Drive account. I'll try to upload it. But again, even though if I upload the video, so it will take some time, at least 4 5 hours to process the video. So initially, just to not to wait for my videos, just go through the last batch, okay, playlist and all. You can find the same topic, right? So let me initiate the remove patching, guys. Okay, so just go to add or remove programs. Once you go to the add or remove programs, click on view installed updates. Okay, view installed updates. So there you can see the updates that you have installed. So if you see here, there are 3 options here. Browser for SQL Server 2019, Microsoft SQL Set 2019, hotfix 4322 for SQL Set 2019. Okay, and same, this is VSS writer, hotfix SQL Set 2022, Microsoft SQL Set 2022, VSS writer, you can see. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I can see 3 updates. All are, please be muted once, please. Right. Where is that? Yeah. Fine. So you can see 3 updates here, guys. You can see 3 updates here. Which one I have to remove? All are 4322 only, right? 4322 means you know, right? This one. Out of these 3, which one I have to remove?
But here hotfix 4322, it is showing 15.0 2000.5 na?
Which one I have to remove out of these 3? Which one?
In the version 4322 is there now. I think that will
Yeah.
be
Okay. So here out of these 3, browser, SQL Server, VSS, which one is very important component? Which one is very important component, guys?
SQL Server 2019-64.
Right, yeah. So this is the main component. You can remove from other components also, but if you start removing from each component, you have to remove for 3 times. But if you remove from the main component, Microsoft SQL Server 2019 64-bit, directly it will be removed from the shared component. These are shared components. Browser is shared component, VSS writer is a shared component, right? If you remove from main component, so it will be removed from the shared components also. So how to remove, guys? Double click on this.
Shamak, one question.
Yes, please.
To remove this patch activity, we need to complete it on that particular time frame window in the change request.
Yes. Generally, what happened, okay, immediately application team will update us. If not, if application team is not available on the activity, during the activity, if application team is not available, then Monday they'll come and they'll check, right? Okay. So then we cannot wait till Monday, right? Patching it will be completed in hardly 2-3 hours. So Monday, if they are checking, if they found compatibility issues, if they are asking us to remove, again we have to raise one more change request.
Okay. If time frame window is closed, then we need to
we can do that. If already time is there and the application team is already working on that, and if they are unable to fix it, and if they are asking us to remove, or else only few components are patched, which is partially successful. Only few components are patched. Okay. In that scenario, we don't need to wait till the application team confirmation, right? We know that the solution, if it is partially successful and all, the only solution is you have to remove the patch, right? So immediately we'll start removing the patch. After patching, immediately we'll remove the patch. Okay.
Okay.
And the same change window.
Looking for that application related issue. If time frame window is closed and application related issue is, then
you have to raise a new change request for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So here, guys, so make sure while removing, in case I told you right yesterday, if 3 instances are there, so while removing, you have to choose only the instance that is creating the problem. From other instances, don't remove, guys. Okay. Don't unselect all. So only thing, in case if one instance is there, you can unselect all. Okay. If multiple instances are there in this screen, so which instance is causing problem, simply you have to check the instance. Remaining instances, you can uncheck it like this. If you uncheck it, don't remove. If you check it from the checked items only, it is going to remove the patch. Okay. Go to next. It will remove from the shared features also. And again, same window you can see. Okay. Any files are in use, it will check it. So we can skip it. Even though files are in use, we don't do anything. This is the last one. Action is equal to remove patch. Okay, action is equal to remove patch, and just click on remove so that it will be removed. Okay, so let's see, guys. In case if you are able to get any MSA files, missing MSA files error, I'll show you. Let's wait for 5 minutes. In case while if you are removing, if I don't get the error, if you are removing, if you got the error, okay, stop there. Okay, and what we can do, we'll discuss that scenario in the class. Cancel it. Okay, if there is no missing MSA and MSP error now, you might face the issue. Okay, you might face the issue, right? So in that case, what you will do, just cancel the activity and tell me, Shanmugh, I'm getting missing MSA and MSP file error. Can you help me? So in the class itself, I'll show you, okay, how to do that. Okay. Right, okay. So this is successfully completed, guys, without that error. Okay, so in case if anyone is going to face that error, just ping me. Okay, I'll help you on that. So it is saying like one or more affected files have operations pending. You must restart your computer. Okay, so after patching also I told you, right, you have to restart your computer. So this is how you can see all the components are successfully removed. Okay, you can see, right, all the components are successfully removed. And again, for this also, for this activity also, we got summary.txt file. So this is the summary.txt file, passed but reboot required. Okay, what is the action? Remove patch. So for this also you can see detail.txt file. So just close it, guys. In this way we can remove the patch and go to SQL Server. Now you can see 4322.2, right? So if you refresh it, it will go to again the old build number, which is 2000.5. Now you can see RTM CU22, right? If you just execute, we can again see it will go to RTM only. There is no CU22 here. So in this way, we can remove the patch, guys. Okay, chalo. So take a break, guys. Come back after 15 minutes. We'll discuss other things. Right. Okay. So in this way, we can remove the patch, guys. Okay. So those are the precautions that we have to take before removing the patch. So this is how generally we'll plan that activity. Fine. Okay. So what we can do now, just a minute. Right. So we'll do one thing, guys. Okay. We'll start another concept called security. Okay. So we'll start security concept. So we'll discuss about security. Okay. So whatever while during the installations, okay. So we have experienced some terminologies, right? Authentication, Windows authentication, SQL Server authentication. Okay. So what is login? What is user? What is the difference between login and user? When the user will be created? Where the user will be created? How to check the users? Okay. So how to give the permissions? How to give the permissions on database? How to give permissions on table level? Okay, so all these things will be discussed in the security, and we'll also discuss about the roles. Okay, we'll also discuss about the roles, like server roles. We have some server roles. What is role? How many types of server roles are there? How many types of database roles are there? So we'll discuss next two classes will be on security concept, guys. Okay. So let's understand the terminology first. The security is not so difficult. It's easiest concept only, but we will have different options. Okay, we will have different options. So again, guys, I'll tell you detailed security in our sessions, but those who don't understand this detailed security, I'll give you a brief session on security again, like from security side, what and all things we are going to do it. So I'll give you a brief discussion, a 10 minutes discussion after the security main concept is over, when we discuss the internals of the security and all. So then what we are going to do is we'll discuss about the a 10-minute security session. So if you are unable to understand this 2 hours or this main session, at least you can concentrate on the 10-minute session also. Like what I'm going to show you in the 10-minute session, how to create the logins, okay? How to give access on the databases, how to give access on the particular tables and all. Everything like from security side, whatever things we are going to do in the organization, I'll show you guys. I'll show you in that particular 10-minute session. So try to concentrate as much as you can on security side. Okay. So if not, still nothing to worry. If you don't understand, nothing to worry. I'll take a 10 minutes security session. Okay. What and all things that we have to do as a DBA related to the permissions and all that we'll discuss in the another session also. So don't worry about it. So let's open this draw IO. Let's try to understand how security will work in the SQL Server. Okay, authorize. See, now only you can see authorize. What is meant by authorization? What is authorization, guys?
Approval.
Kind of. Okay, so authorization means having access on some resources. I'll tell you. So we have two terminologies called authentication and authorization. We have two terminologies called authentication and authorization. This is batch 50, right? So file open from Google Drive and let's open batch 51. Okay, open this window. Right. Fine. So authentication, first let's try to understand this word. Okay, authentication. And next word is authorization. So what is authentication? What is authorization? So authentication means having access on one resource is called authentication. Authentication means, okay, sorry, reverse. Okay. Right. Authorization. Authorization and authentication. So authorization means having access on some resources. Having access on some resources is called authorization. Having access on some resources is called authorization. So what is meant by authentication? Process of verifying username and password is called authentication. I'll tell you guys, I'll give you an example. So for example, if you go to office, generally you can see some normal public access rooms will be there. Some server rooms also will be there, right? If you go to office, some important rooms and all will be there, which are server rooms. So on the server room, anyone observed what you can see on the door of the server room? Or if you go to any shopping mall also, if you go to basement parking, there also you can see this kind of entry. Anyone observed what will be written on the door of these things, these like rooms and all? Security
Entry
and all.
restricted.
Entry restricted, very good. And one more thing will be there, authorized entry only, right? Authorized entry only, like that you can see on the door of the particular room, server rooms or power rooms generally. Not everyone can access that room. Authorized persons only can access that room. So what is meant by authorization? Those who are having access to access that room, that is called authorization. Authorization means having access on some resources is called authorization. Clear, guys? Is it clear? Having access on some resources is called authorization. Means if 10 people are there, not 10 people can access the power room. Only the technicians, the electricians only can access the power room. So even the 10 people are employees of that shopping mall, still not other people can access that power room. Only electrician can access that power room. Why? Because he is the authorized person. As per his duties, he is the authorized person to access that room, power room. Right? In the same way, so authorization is nothing but having access on some resources. Now tell me, so you see that authorized entry only. That means not everyone can enter into that room. Now, generally, you will have extra security measures on that room, right? Right? If it is server room, you will have extra security measures. See, if you simply write don't entry restricted and all, so there is a chance that people can enter into the room, right? If you simply write entry restricted and you just open the door, there is a chance, right? People can access that room, right? So what I'll do, entry restricted or authorized entry only. I'm adding some extra security. Okay, what I can do, guys, I'm adding some extra security. Okay, protocols like I lock the door, I lock the server room. So every time if any engineer is coming, the security guard, he don't come and he don't unlock the door, right? So what is the way to unlock the door? What is the way we can unlock the door automatically? So we'll use different methods. We can go with a pin method, right? At the beginning of the door, you can see a pin. You can enter the pin. That is one method. You can give your biometric. The door will open. That is another method. You can just flash your ID card. Door will open. Another method. Or else you can just give your whatever you can say face recognition and all. Then also door will open. Means even though that is authorized room, I don't give access publicly. I'll go for extra security measures and then I'll apply some security concepts so that I'm going to restrict others to not to access that particular room. So now authorization means having access on that server room. That is called authorization. Authentication means what then? Process of verifying username and password. Now you are a engineer. Okay, you have to take care of the servers. Now you have to go inside that room. So how you can go? Either you can go for biometric, or you can go for pin based method, or you can flash your ID card, or you can do some other security measures, right? So here you are giving your approval. That means you are giving your username or password or both, right? So that is called authentication. For example, Gmail is there. Everyone can access Gmail, guys. Can everyone access the Gmail? Tell me, guys, can everyone access the Gmail?
No, account having
Right.
persons only.
Correct, correct. Not everyone. Those who are having account in the Gmail, they only can access the Gmail. If I don't have Gmail account, can I access the Gmail? Can I log in inside the Gmail? So now if I open Gmail and all, generally, if you see here, okay, so having access to the Gmail is called authorization. How you are going to prove your authorization? By authentication. Like I'll enter one Gmail ID and I'm going to enter the password of that particular Gmail. So if the password is correct, then only I'm able to log into this. Authorization means having access on the resources. Authentication means this process. Now it is verifying, right? Now if I enter the password, it is going to verify. Right now it is verifying. Currently it is verifying whether real-time IT trainings is there or not in the Gmail database. If it is there, okay, he gave the correct password or not. Yes, he gave the correct password. Okay, then I'll allow him. This is called authentication. I gave username, I gave password, both are correct. So this is called authentication. Authorization means having access on some resources. Pineapple. Authentication means, okay, process of verifying the username and password is called authentication. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear? So process of verifying the username and password is called authentication. So let's try to concentrate, okay? So now imagine this is the box. This is the server. Box means server. Watermelon. Okay, so this is the box. This is my Windows server. Thank you. So this is the box. 5 minutes, please.
Which one you want?
Just give me 2 minutes, guys. Right. Okay. So this is the Windows server, guys. This is the Windows server. So in this Windows server, I have the SQL server. Listen carefully. This is the very important concept. If you understood this properly, then security wise, you don't face any challenges, guys. Try to understand. Okay. If you have questions, you can ask me. I'll give you the time. I'll give you the time. You can ask me. Okay. This is the Windows machine, Windows server. Right. Fine, and this is the SQL server. Control B. And let's add one database. This is the database I have. Right, now imagine this is the shopping mall. Okay. Imagine this is the shopping mall. In the shopping mall, we will have different shops, right? We'll have different shops. We'll have different shops, right? I'm going to delete all the things just to show you, okay? So the shopping mall will have different shops. So initially, security guard is going to scrutiny us, right? They are going to check it. They are going to, in case if it is metro and all, you know, right? They are going to check very clearly. Like imagine if it's an airport. Airport means you know how the security will be. So they'll scrutiny us. They are going to check it whether we are carrying any dangerous products. Okay, so like this, they are going to scrutiny us. They are going to check it. They are going to scan it, all the bags and all everything. So once you entered into the building, once you entered into the shopping mall, again, you don't get the same checks from every shop, right? So initially, while entering into the shopping mall itself, they are going to check you. So once you are successfully entered into the shopping mall, you can access whatever shop you want, right? So in the same way, so here first, if you want to enter into this Windows box, you are the user. You are the user, guys. Okay. So now you want to enter into the Windows machine. Imagine this is your Gmail. This is your Gmail. Okay. So you want to enter into the Gmail means first you should have Gmail account, right? Myself, Shanmukh. Okay. I want to access my Gmail account. So I'll have one user ID. I'll have one password. So when I can access my Gmail, if I am part of Gmail database, then only I can access the Gmail. If I don't have Gmail account, can I access the Gmail? Not possible, right? In the same way, if you want to enter into this Windows server, first you should be member of this Windows server. You should be member of this Windows server. An account should be created for you in this Windows server. Okay. Under users list, again, listen carefully. Under users list of Windows machine. Under users list of Windows machine. Okay. Imagine this is some what we can do, Peter. Okay. Right. Imagine his name is Peter. Okay. As Peter, and this is Peter. This guy is called Peter. Okay. And this Peter wants to access this server. This Peter wants to access this server. If he wants to connect to the SQL server, in two ways we can connect. I'll tell you again, Windows authentication method, SQL server authentication method. I'll tell you the differences between those two. Okay. So now we are discussing exactly Windows authentication. First listen carefully. So if this guy wants to connect to this Windows server, his account should present in the Windows server list. Those who are part of, see, I just logged into this laptop using a name called Hemant. When I start this laptop, it will pop up to give you the PIN. So I give the PIN for Hemant. So I logged into this laptop using this account. So the login account should present, right? If you go to this lusrmgr.msc, where it will check the username and password. Hemant, I gave Hemant. And who knows I gave correct password or not. See, Hemant account is already created in the users section. In the user section, Hemant is already created. So that's why while logging into the laptop, when I gave Hemant, it just checked whether Hemant is there or not in this list. Okay, Hemant is there. Okay, Hemant is there. Chalo. So this is the Hemant account. Okay. And it will check whether Hemant gave correct PIN or password or not while logging into the laptop. As Hemant is there in this users list, then only Hemant can enter into the laptop. Guys, is this clear? Everyone, is this clear?
Yes, clear.
Good. So in the same way, if Peter wants to, I just logged into the laptop, then only I opened SSMS, then only I'm connecting to the SQL server, right? In the same way, if Peter wants to log into this Windows server, first Peter has to jump into the Windows server. First, Peter has access in the Windows server. Access means what? Peter account should be created in the Windows servers users list. So if Peter account is created in the Windows servers users list, Peter can easily jump into the Windows server. Now he just have access to the Windows server. Having access to the Windows server, that doesn't mean you can access SQL server also. No. Okay. So in the SQL server, again we have a list. Again we have a list of users, those who can access the SQL server. So this is called logins list. Logins list. Okay. This is called logins list. Okay. So this is your server level logins. So if I gave access to Peter, okay, if I gave access to Peter on the SQL server, again one more Peter will be created in the SQL server. Okay. Now Peter just jumped into the Windows machine, right? Now he want to access this database. If Peter wants to access this database, he cannot directly access. As a DBA, we have to create an account for Peter in the logins list. Then Peter is able to jump into the SQL server. Peter is able to jump into the SQL server. So this is how Peter can access the SQL server. Now Peter just accessed the SQL server. That doesn't mean Peter can directly access this database. No. Okay. So don't think like if you are able to enter into the Windows machine, you can access all the applications in the Windows machine. That is one point I want to clear you. Second point, you are able to enter into the Windows machine using some Windows authentication and all. You just log into the Windows machine. Okay. And again, if you want to connect to SQL server, again, one more entry should be created for you in the SQL server also. This is the entry pass. This entry pass has to be given by SQL server to the Peter. Then only Peter can enter into the SQL server. Now, Peter entered into the SQL server. That doesn't mean Peter can access every database. No, I have to again explicitly give access to the Peter. Okay, I have again explicitly give access to the Peter on any database. Then only Peter is able to access the database. Or else, what I can do, I can directly give sysadmin permissions to Peter. Then also he can access all the databases. See how many layers of security? Windows level it will block you. If you are able to enter into the Windows, again SQL server level it will block you. If you are able to enter into the SQL, if you have enough permissions, database level also I can block you, and even table level also I can block you. I can
Sir,
restrict
can
your
you
access.
explain the database level again, please?
Here, when you give the access to Peter, okay, so that he can just log into the Windows machine. Till now it is clear, right, guys? Till now, Peter is entered into the Windows machine. This is clear, right, everyone? How he can enter into the Windows server? He should be member of users list in the Windows machine. As of now, treat this as a local. I am just explaining the local server policy. In the organization, we will have an extra setup called Active Directory. There is an extra setup called Active Directory. So don't worry about this. As of now, just try to understand. Okay. So this is Active Directory. The same concept, AD will call it as AD, guys. So the same concept, instead of local machine, will create his account in the Active Directory. But as of now, just forget about it. Okay. Now Peter entered into the Windows machine. Is this clear? When Peter can enter into the Windows machine, is this clear, everyone? Everyone, please respond.
Yes.
He should be, if Peter wants to
Yes.
access Windows server, yeah, he should be member of the Windows servers users list. That is the first criteria. Now I gave access to Peter. Windows team gave access to Peter. How they gave access? Windows team created Peter in the users list. So now Peter can able to connect to the Windows server, right? So now don't think like if Peter can connect to the Windows server, he can access the SQL server. No. Okay, he cannot access the SQL server. For that, again, we have to give extra permissions to Peter. Again, based on the user account that is created in the Windows machine, I have to give extra permissions to Peter to connect to the SQL server. How I can give extra permissions? I have to create a login for Peter in the SQL server's logins list. I have to create a login for the Peter account. Okay. If you see here, the logins list security and logins. So the people that are there in this list only can connect to my SQL server. The people that are there in this list only can connect to my SQL server, not everyone. See, administrator account is there. So that's why administrator is able to connect to the SQL server. That's why administrator is able to connect to the SQL server. If Peter account is created in the Windows machine in the LUSR mgr.msc, okay, if I create Peter account, Peter cannot directly connect to the SQL server. What I have to do for him? If he want to connect to the SQL server, what I have to do, guys? Here, I just created Peter. Right click, new user, Peter. Okay, tab, password I'll give 123 123. Okay, I'm going to uncheck these two. I'll check these two. So create, I just created a user, close it. So now Peter is there in this list. That doesn't mean Peter can connect to the SQL server. Where he should be, if he wants to connect to SQL server, apart from this list, in which list he should be part of it? Tell me, guys.
Sir, in SQL server also.
In the SQL server logins list also, I have to create Peter. Then only Peter can connect to the SQL server. That is first thing. But if I created a login for Peter in this list, don't think Peter can access the databases. I can restrict him. I can restrict him at every level. So the same thing I'm explaining, guys. So if you see here, I just created a user account for Peter in the Windows level. So Peter can jump into the Windows server. But if Peter wants to access SQL server, again I have to create one more account in the SQL server logins list. So then only Peter can enter into the SQL server. But entering into the SQL server, that doesn't give you a pass to access all the databases. Again, I have to give separate permissions on the databases. So then only Peter can connect to the particular database. Either I can give specific access on the database, or I can give sysadmin permissions to Peter so that he can access all the objects in the SQL server, guys. Is it clear?
Sir, one more doubt. Hello.
Tell me, dude.
Sir, can you go to the login of SQL?
Okay.
Sir, the logins, there are service account present.
Forget about that. Is not the point. That is not the point now. That is not the point. Forget about it. Okay. So
I have one doubt, small doubt regarding this.
Tell me.
Connect to SQL server by using the service account?
Have you tried it?
No.
That is also account, right?
Yes.
So if it is account, you can connect. Try it once. Okay.
Sir, and these cross marks are what? Red cross mark.
Forget about it, sir. I'll tell you. I'll explain everything. Okay. That's what. Okay. We'll first of all, we are just limited to this topic. Is this clear, everyone, guys? Guys,
Yes,
please,
sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
open your mouth. This is clear,
Clear,
right?
sir.
Yeah. So first thing
Yes,
is,
sir.
yeah. First thing is, if you want to jump into the Windows machine, you should be part of Windows machine's users list. then only you can connect to the Windows machine. Then, if you want to connect to SQL Server, you should be part of SQL Server's logins list. Then only you can connect to the SQL Server. Then, if you want to connect to any database, you should have access on that specific database also. So server level I can restrict you, Windows server level I can restrict you, SQL server level I can restrict you, database level I can restrict you. So these are the different layers in the security, guys. Server level, SQL server level, and database level. And even object level also I can restrict you. Okay. So this is the basic discussion how logins can enter into the SQL server. Now, while connecting, you have an option. Okay. Choose authentication, Windows authentication and SQL Server authentication. So the one which we have selected, which we have discussed, is Windows authentication. Windows authentication, when you choose Windows authentication, it is not asking password. Shanmukh, where is the security? When you choose Windows authentication, it is not asking the password. Where is the security here? Is it a valid question, guys? It is not asking username, it is not asking the password. Then where is the security? How it is verified?
Because it is already verified in login of Windows.
Correct. Correct. So don't think it is not taking username. So when you choose Windows authentication, you can see a username section called administrator, a username called administrator. So generally usernames are prefixed with computer name, guys. This is computer name / administrator. So don't think it is not checking any username and password. It is already verified. How it is verified, guys? While connecting to the server 192.168.137. So while connecting to the server, if you see here 192.168.137.39, what account I'll give? I'll give administrator account, right? I'll give administrator account and I'll give the password of this administrator account, right? Administrator account. So here, while logging into the machine itself, how I am able to connect to the administrator account? Why? Because in this users list, administrator account is already there. So that's why while doing RDP, when I gave username as administrator and when I gave the password, so why it is allowing me? As already I am the part of the administrators group. Already I am the part of the users group. Administrator account is already created. Okay. So that's why when I gave username, so here I am verifying myself. Administrator is verifying himself with the username and password. So that's why it is allowing you to log into the Windows server. Right. You are successfully jumped into the Windows server. Now see here, an account is there, right? With the administrator, already an account is there. Already an account is there with the administrator. Okay. So if an account is there, as administrator account is there in the SQL server, and this administrator guy is already verified by giving his username and password at OS level. So OS level security is more when compared to SQL server security. So in the OS level, already this guy is verified, right? In the OS level, you are already verified. Okay, so that's why it is not going to verify now. And your account is already present in the SQL server. Don't think it is not going to verify. It is not going to verify the password, guys. But username is already present, right? As username is already present, so it don't ask you to give you the password while connecting to the SQL server. So that's why Windows logins doesn't need a password while connecting to the SQL server. But don't think they are connecting without password. No. Windows level, they are already a successfully verified users. Told you, right? The beginning itself in the shopping mall, you're already successfully verified. So again, no one is going to block you in each shop. You can jump into that. So in the same way, your account is already there in the SQL server. And initially Windows itself verified your username and password. It was successfully verified. Okay, administrator, he gave correct password. Okay, he's a successfully verified user. Then your account is already there in the SQL server. So that's why don't ask password, guys. So if you choose Windows authentication, don't think that it is skipping the security concepts, everything will be followed. But instead of SQL server level, Windows OS will take care of your security. So OS means high security will be there, right? So that's why OS level you already cleared the entry. So as you have already cleared the entries at the OS level and your account is already created in the SQL server. So these two are important. OS level you have to clear the security and your account should be created in the SQL server. Then only you're able to connect to the SQL server. So if you choose Windows authentication, if you choose SQL Server authentication, how this will work? If you choose SQL Server authentication, you can skip, guys. Generally, how developers will connect, okay? This is how DBAs will connect. So first we'll jump into the, I guess I have explained you in the, earlier I just explained you with this diagram. So how DBAs will connect, we will always do RDP to the server. We'll jump into the Windows server. We'll open SSMS here like what I'm doing now. Like I jumped into this Windows machine, I opened SSMS, I just selected the instance name, I just selected the Windows authentication and I just connected, right? But how developers will connect? How developers will connect? So developers, hundreds of developers will be there. We cannot give RDP access to every developer, right? So how developers will connect? So developers, we are going to install, okay, client which is SSMS in their work laptop. So this is developer's laptop. So Windows team will install SSMS in their laptop. They are going to install SSMS in their laptop. Management Studio is a client, right? They'll install SSMS. So once the developer is jumped into that particular laptop, he will open SSMS. There, he is not connecting to the server directly, right? He will just open SSMS and what he will do, instead of Windows authentication, he will choose SQL Server authentication. Then it will ask username and password. Then also, for example, one developer is there, okay? So Peter is there, same developer, okay? Or Smith is there, okay? He is one developer. So if he want to connect, then he will choose SQL Server authentication and he will choose his password. Okay, if his account is there, he is able to connect. If his account is not there, he will get this error. Smith is there, guys, here in this list. Can you see Smith account? Yeah. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Right, okay. So Smith account is not there in this list. So that's why I'm getting login failed for user Smith. So this is how generally developers will connect, guys. Developers, they will have Management Studio in their local laptops and they'll give the server name, whatever server, we have hundreds of servers, right? So they'll give the server name to which server they want to connect and they will give particular authentication type. They will choose as a SQL Server authentication. So for everyone, I cannot give access, RDP access. I told you, right? Hardly 2 RDP access connections we can use at a time. Hardly 2 RDP connections we can use at a time. But if I have 2000 developers in my project or 200 developers will keep on working on the databases, right? Okay, so we cannot wait. We cannot ask developer, say developer, wait, already two people are connected. You can come tomorrow. Okay, once his execution is completed, you can work like that. So it's not going to be work, right? So it's not a good method. So DBAs, those who are doing maintenance activities like DBA team, Windows team, network team, storage team, they all use RDP. Developers, they will use direct connection and they will choose SQL Server authentication instead of Windows authentication. Windows means you have to log into that particular Windows server, but developers doesn't have access to this Windows server 192.160.169.37. They don't have access to the Windows server. Instead of that, we'll simply create a login for him. So for example, this is Smith. Okay, so let me check one more user. Okay, and check one more user. Okay. 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 Chalo. So this is Smith. Okay. Right. So he just logged into his laptop. Okay. He just logged into his laptop. He opened SSMS. So if Smith account is created, in this logins list, if Smith account is created in this logins list, okay, like this, a Smith account will be there in the logins list. So what Smith can do, then Smith can connect to this SQL server from his local SSMS. So Peter is also there, Smith is also there. Security wise, there is no difference between Windows login and SQL login. This is actually Windows login. This is actually SQL login. Security wise, permissions wise, there is no difference. While connecting, Windows person will connect by logging into the Windows server. SQL login will connect by just logging into the SSMS.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Sir, I have some doubt.
Tell me.
So first doubt is this Windows authentication login in the organization. It is known as DBA login, or DBA login is separate, like SQL Server login.
I'm not getting your question, sir.
So I want to ask that this Windows authentication method, you told that we have two RDP connection. Okay, those are able to connect with RDP. They can connect with Windows authentication. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask, suppose I am a DBA.
Okay.
And I want to log in with SQL Server, and my colleague is a SQL developer. For SQL developer, they have other logins, or they will connect with as a DBA.
Why they will connect as a DBA? That's what, since 30 minutes I'm explaining the same and you are asking the same thing, Vibhuti. DBAs will have separate account. They will use their own account. Developers. Why I explained? What is the use of explaining this laptop? Why, to whom I'm explaining? I guess I use it 10 times or 20 times. Developers and all. Developers, they will connect like this. They don't connect to the Windows server directly, as it will allow only two connections. The thing is, even though we discussed, again you'll ask the same doubt.
No, I want to ask that this Windows authentication is for DBA only.
Windows authentication is only for DBAs. DBAs means, I told you, those who are doing maintenance activities like DBAs, storage team, Windows team, network team. These people will do Windows activities like maintenance activities. These people will have RDP access.
So can we create separate logins for DBA, like developers?
Yes, you can create.
Okay.
You can create. Whatever login you want, you can create. But what is the use? Why you want to create a DBA like developer? So now, why you will have Windows Server access? You are not only going to troubleshoot the SQL Server related issues. In case one drive is full, so the drive will present in the Windows Server. So can you connect from your SSMS? Can you troubleshoot the drive issue?
No. We have to connect to the server.
But the developers are going to fix the drive issues?
No.
Then what is the use of RDP access to the developers? Their main aim is they want one work area to access their queries, to run their queries. So that's why we don't give access to developers. We don't give RDP access to developers. We'll just give access to the environment. That means the databases and all.
Okay. So, sir, one more doubt. Suppose in a project there are 30 developers.
Okay,
Okay. And in the 30 developers machine there are SSME.
correct.
So we want to create 30 user or a single user for every developer.
Now you only tell me, Bhupati. Think logically. Tell me the answer for this. Guys, can anyone tell me the answer for this? No need to
Sir,
think
as per my
logically also.
understanding,
Just
I think
common sense.
one login.
One login.
No, no,
Different
for
login.
every user, there should be different.
Different login.
Different login for every
Yeah, yeah.
developers.
So if one
And
login,
Shambhav, one more thing, suppose any developer having user ID and password credentials, and they can also see that window authentication mode for the login. So, I mean to say that where they will be able to log in window authentication mode, or can we restrict them to only use their credentials to get login in the SQL Server?
I'm not getting your question.
No, actually my question is that when we try to log in into a SQL Server, we are having two options, either Windows authentication mode or a SQL Server authentication mode.
Correct.
So if credentials are provided to the developer, user ID and password is provided to developers, then they will also get that option that for Windows authentication mode.
See,
So
everyone will get. See, it's not like developers are DBAs. Okay, if anyone opens SSMS, they can see Windows
Yeah.
authentication. They can see SQL Server
yes,
authentication also.
yes, correct.
Yeah.
So that means actually a little bit about that. SQL, any developer having credentials, then will he be able to log in through Windows authentication mode or
How
not?
come? No, that is
Yeah,
not possible. That is
not
not
possible.
possible.
No?
Yeah, I
Okay,
told.
because
That's why I told you
administrators
this
only having
concept.
privilege.
That's why I told you this concept. Who
Correct.
can use this RDP? Those who are members of Windows Server users list.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean if you have an account you can use it. If you are a DBA, your friend is a developer, you gave your account credentials to your friend, then he can do that.
Okay, got your point. Okay.
But even though he can see Windows authentication, that doesn't mean he can use Windows authentication, right? Right.
Mm.
One thing that I just want to tell you one thing. I'll end the session, guys. 1 minute, just 1 minute. Okay, I'll end the session. So here the thing is, so people said like, can I use if 30 developers are there, can I use the same account? You can use it. If you are ready to take challenges, you can use it. Out of the 30 developers, if one developer deleted the DBA or one database or one table, how you will track it?
If they have same permission,
Mm.
if the 30 have same permission to perform a particular task,
Okay. If all they might have same permissions to do a particular task. Okay, what is the question here?
only one login.
Only one login?
No, how it can be possible? One login should not be there. Secret.
I'm not getting you, Bibhuti, exactly. Can you ask me again?
He is
If
asking
the
for the
developers
same
have,
process there. Yes.
Wait. I'm getting some disturbance.
there are 30 developers, okay,
Developers, okay.
and they have to perform only in the database like select and insert.
Okay.
So we can create a user that have the permission only access the data and only insert the data.
Okay.
They need 30 users instead of one user.
Instead of one user, 30 users are there. Okay. You're asking question or you are giving information?
No, sir. I want to ask that we can use only one user, na?
One user at a time, you are saying?
Yes. For
Then
30 developer, we can use only one user.
so you are saying Even though 30 developers are there, only one user can perform the action at a time, you are saying. That is what
No,
your
no, no.
question? No.
So my question is, all the 30 developers have to perform only select query. Okay.
Okay.
They have to fetch the data, like writing some procedure, select and insert.
Okay.
So we can one single user who have the permission to fetch the data and insert the data. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So I want to ask, instead of 30 user, I can only one user in this case.
So instead of why I'll give select and insert permissions to all 30 users, I'll give access to only one person.
Yes.
Right? That is your question.
Yes, yes.
Very good question. That one person left the organization. To whom you will give the access? That one person is take the
Person is not. I have to create one login as a developer.
Sir, very common sense, Vibhuti. You will create a login. What will be the login name? Tell me the login name. You will give one login name, right? What would be the login name?
Like developer.
Developer. You will create a developer login name. Very good. You create a developer login name. Okay. So
Okay.
all the 30 people are going to use the same developer login name. Right?
Okay.
Now, in this session, currently 22 people are there. All are Vibhuti only. All are renamed as the name as the Vibhuti. Okay. All 23 people are showing Vibhuti only. So if one Vibhuti is asking question, unmuting and asking question, how can I identify which Vibhuti is asking question? How can I identify? You are saying you will give developer name. Anyhow, all are going to perform the same activity. I'll just give the developer name as a login name. So everyone has to use
No,
the
sir,
same
developer
login
name, not developer name. I provide only the login name as developer.
That's what I'm saying. Login name is developer. So
Yes.
I'll give the login name as developer. So all 30 people will use the same login name, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if one
Yeah.
developer deleted the object, how you will track which developer deleted the object?
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay. So these are the challenges, sir. This is very common point.
Sir, actually, this type of in my previous organization, they have maintained in this type of scenario.
I got
That's why I'm
I got your point, but you are in your previous organization, you already worked on this environment, so you already faced this challenge in your environment, right? Right?
Yes, yes.
Don't you?
Yes.
Definitely.
No, I have not faced because previously I was a school developer. That's why.
Definitely you will face this challenge. Definitely will face. Within a day, you will face this challenge. Don't know which developer is doing what kind of activity. How can we track them? Very common point, right? So it's for this we don't need 10 years of experience. Just we can think normally also. Okay. So this is the main challenge. So that's why people
So by
might
host name also we can identify na which machine it was performed.
by host name also you can identify, but instead why you have to go like that? So you are giving a simple way, you are leaving the simplest way and you are just going a difficult way, difficult path. Okay, so just a direct way, say in case if I give correct login name, correct password, out of these 22 people, if Vibhuti deleted my object and Vibhuti have access, hey Vibhuti, why you deleted the object? And you are saying, sir, I'll check the host name. So I'm not sure which host, which person is using which host and all. So again, I have to check that also, right? Anyhow, you want to track it. Okay. So in case of tracking, why again you are going for the long method as you have direct path?
Okay.
Okay. Chalo guys, that's it for now.
Sir, one more doubt. Sir, one more doubt.
Yes, please.
Sir, one user. Suppose I have one user, Vibhuti.
Yes.
Okay. So Vibhuti can connect how many means suppose we have 300 developers.
Okay.
These 300 developers can use Vibhuti login or there is some restriction. This much of a user can use a particular name.
Those who are having Vibhuti login name and password, they all can use.
There is no restriction.
There is no restriction.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Okay, guys.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll connect in the evening at 7 p.m. IST. Sorry for the late, guys. Okay. So we'll connect in the evening.